Hello guys, so yeah, Winter here. So I've decided to create videos, I've decided to create videos on CTFs and what I learned. So for example, this first video I'm creating is about one of the challenges I did in the Winter Conference CTF, right, on 25th February. So this is one of the interesting challenges I met. So the CVE for these for the exploit, it was a boot to root machine, so it required you to use a pre-existing CVE to get command or a remote code execution. So I've never really known there was such CVE out there. So it came out in 2021, but I think it missed me. I never knew about that. Maybe because I don't really do a lot of Azure Google searches, or maybe I don't read much about Azure and all that. But I realized that was ignorance that made me miss something really cool and interesting. So the OMI is like a management open source software that is used on Linux, Azure Linux. Yeah, it's a Microsoft open source project. Weirdly, that's one of their open source projects. Microsoft is known to being closed. So I decided to, when I did this TF, I didn't even know what to do at first. So I did an nmap scan, and then I see port 5985 on Linux. Crazy, because I know 5985 is WinRM. So I was curious how, or even while this TF was running, I started researching on how I could actually set up WinRM on my machine. So that's where now I said, no, let me try and look for this in another way. Let me Google this another way. So I tried looking for 5985 Linux. I got nothing. So can port 5985 WinRM be on Linux? And then I just saw something about Omni. Not Omni, OMI. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So reading something about it, I said, okay, let me now search for, because this is something I've met for the first time, and this CTF, I guess it was created for medium to um, intermediate players. I guess that this is something that wasn't that hard to exploit. So my thought was a CV is available for this. So I decided to do some Google search on the OMI, any CV that affects OMI. And what do you know? The first hit was OMIGOD. Yeah. And the name of the challenge was OMYGOD. So I did OMI CVE. Yeah. And then wait, was this 5? I did 598. 5985 CV, and you see here I get the Arctrix blog about it. And also when you do Omni CV GitHub, yeah, you'll find out these. Yeah, so this is a CV 2021 38647. Alternatively, I think you could also get this on Searchsploit. So yeah, just while that's going on, let me just fire up both the machines that we're gonna use for this. So I see one of them is up, so let me just start our attack box. So while the attack box will be firing up, we will be setting up OMI on the target. So yeah, so a couple of things you're gonna do. So first, we're gonna need to downgrade OpenSSL, of which this is just to install libSSL. So I'll have to get the OpenSSL package. So let me just show you why we need to do that. So we'll just go ahead and try and get OMI locally and install it. So to get OMI, you can just go to their GitHub repo. So if you go to GitHub or even just search OMI GitHub, you'll find their repo and just go to the releases. So now definitely if there is a CV that was there in 2021, they must have fixed it, right? Yeah, they did. It was fixed like a month later. So you have to install the specific version that's actually vulnerable. So for that, you have to go back to 2021, which was before September. So there was a release on September, which was the patch. So if you check here, on September 8, 2021, there was a patch for this. You see, they say release notes is security related fix. So you get the previous version. That was one for April 9th, 2021. So you just come here, click on assets. Okay. So clicking on assets, you'll find a bunch. Yeah. So just take the 110. So that's the SSL version. Here it tells you Omni SSL version 110. So we are getting the dev package because we are installing it on Debian. So copy the link, and then let's go ahead and let me SSH into my machine. So I'm searching into the victim. So the password there, that, and then get it down locally. So yeah, so we are downloading that. Could not verify GitHub certificate, so I'll just try it over again. Oh, I know why. Just a sec, let me just do this real quick. So the reason why is because I had actually uninstalled OpenSSL. So let me just install it real quick and get that working. So let's do that, and then let's get that down. So still same. Okay, let's do that then. Sorry, when I did this. Okay, so smooth. So I just told wget not to check the certificate, okay, because you know HTTPS, because it's over SSL, it has to check, or it has like a certificate which it actually comes with. So yeah, so I had to tell it not to check the certificate, and here we have Omni. So let's try installing it. So sudo dpkg tag I for install, and then I say Omi, right? So you see it tells us unrecognized version of SSL on the system. My SSL version is 3.0.2. So let's solve that. So to solve that, we will look for OpenSSL this version 1.1.0. so I'm looking for 1.1.1. so OpenSSL 1.1.1 download, right? So let's look for that. So I find it, that's ARM. So that's ARM. That's still ARM. Let me go to this and see. That is ARM. I don't want ARM, so let's go here. Close. So this is, no, I'll just go ahead and look for OpenSSL. Download. And then, okay, I'll just have to specify them. Okay, so I think we're gonna get it. I just missed that. So where's this? This is OpenSSL download for Linux, deb. So click on birds. Really? Okay, so this looks like a bird, right? Awesome, smooth. So we need deb. So you'll find Debian 11.10. Those are just version. The buster and bullseye just means old, stable, and stable. Okay, so we're gonna get the buster one, and then I'm gonna get this. So copy link, and I'm gonna come back to here, and then wget it, and Okay, that's taking a while. Oh, wait, that's weird. What did I just do? Let me see. If I come back here, this is Deb, right? That was HTML. So there it is. No. Here it is. So this is 1.1.1. I'm gonna use this. So let's do that. Control L, W get. So when I did this, I installed it using a tar.gz. So this is the first time I'm using a Debian package to install it. When I did this, I actually built it, and there we have it. So let's try it out. Sudo dpkg tag I OpenSSL smooth, and it says it did it, but unpacking over 3.20 and then setting up OpenSSL. Now let's try and install Omni. Smooth, it works, right? Awesome. Now we have Omni. So if we check ps AUX and then grep Omni. I keep on calling it Omni. I don't know why. Is it because I love the Omniverse? So yeah, we see that the server is running, right? But it is not actually listening. ULNP. So if we look at it, you don't see port 5985 here, right? So the reason being is because by default, or like the configure, we need to like mess around with the configuration to allow that port to actually start listening, right? So we need to go to the Omni's configuration, which is in etc opt omni config. So we need to go and configure that. So okay, so here we went to just etc opt omni configure conf and then omni server. If you don't know really, or if you want to find it, you just do something like name omni server.conf, right, to the null, and then you'll get a hit and find that. So real quick, we come here and then we change this port. So you see here it's listening on port 0. Interesting, right? So we have to change this to 5986. So 5986 or 5985 for HTTP. HTTPS is 5986. What does that even tell you? WinRM, right? It's WSMon. So 5986, Control O, or this is not nano, and then it says no write since last changes. Enter. Smooth. And then we need to start the OMID. So sudo service OMID restart. Yeah, and then now when we check, you'll see 5986 is right here, right? Awesome. So let's try and let's go to our attack. Just a sec. Okay, just a sec. So let's go to our attack box. Yeah, and let's log on. So that's Kali, and then Kali, and then oh no, the attack box isn't showing. So yeah, let's just fix that. So the attack box. Okay, so I think now it's showing. So yeah, so let's go, yeah, to our Kali. So in our Kali, what we just want to verify if that port is actually open, and we see if we can exploit it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take or clone the CV. So this is what we're gonna take. We're gonna come to so here it is. So you can go to Horizon 3AI and you get the CV, or you can just look for OMI CV, and let's just take that, right? And then I'll have to shift over to that, and there we are. So I'm gonna make a directory and call it Omni, cd into Omni, clear, and git clone. So that's gonna get that, and yep. So let me just get the IP of our victim machine. So that's 102, and then come back here. So cd again into the CV. So this is the CV, right? So you just supposed to run. Let's run it and see the options. So it takes in a target and a command. So we're gonna give it the target, and then the command, which is, let's say, ID. It's not working, but let's try and ping our server. Maybe it's not up. It is up. So we have to configure a little bit more, because the reason why it's not working, it's because of some it's trying to get some ACX agent namespace. So if we look into the Omni CV, and then let's just try and debug it from there. So if you look through this, you'll find this place where it's looking for the ACX namespace. I think that's not visible enough. Let me just open it up with either Nano or Sublime. Smooth. Now that's better. So what it's actually causing this to error out is this root ACX namespace. So if we try and debug this, so we come here uh, and then come and try print text, right? And then try this out again. You see, it says something like OMI error message, fault. Where is it? Okay. So sim string namespace does not exist. Target namespace does not exist. So we need to install the ACX agent, right? So we'll come back here and we'll look for the ACX agent. So it said something about ACX. So if I come and say ACX OMI install, so we have the ACX core, right? We find it on GitHub. We just go there. So remember, the release version of this was 1.6.8. So I thought maybe we should actually match the release version of that, or maybe get something which is closer to the release date or closer to the date of that vulnerable one. So I didn't get this. I just went ahead and scrolled to 2021, where I got the latest, which was 2021. This one, September 8th. This one, which was actually just after, what was it called? After the update, during the update of the Omni, right? So this is what I take, or let's take this which came with the Omni. Okay, so let's take that version. So come here, and then I take this because it's the one I took, the SSL version. So copy link, and then we come back to our target, and then we get that again. Okay, let's do no check certificate, sudo, and then check this out. It's actually restarted on me, right? So we are ready to go. So let's go back to our attack box and try this again. So enter that, and then let's retry this. Ooh, interesting. We were able to actually get this to work. So let me do this. Let me remove that print statement so that we don't have to view that again. So that's basically how you set up OMI, and how the actually the CTF itself, the challenge is supposed to be solved. You are supposed to use the CVE, which actually just sends an HTTP request. Is it HTTPS request with this payload? And this is where our command gets injected, just right here. So when we do ID or anything, it gets injected here. So you can go ahead and play with this payload and even use the CMD module to make an interactive shell, so that you just don't need to really pass it in as an argument every time. So that was it. But before that, let me see if we can actually no, that's, I think that's enough. I wanted to maybe dig more into the code and maybe create what I'm talking about, the interactive shell, where I just run the OMIGOD.py, and then it brings me a shell where I specify the target and it connects the target, and every time I type ID, I type ls or anything, it actually works. If I do ls or ls l, this actually breaks. Let me see. Smooth, it gives me an output, right? Smooth. So there's another cool thing I realized. Is it that? Yeah, that this grc command is super interesting. Oh, it's not coloring, but it's a cool command. Let me show you with nmap, because with nmap it does it better. So if I do nmap, and then I'm just gonna specify one port, p 5986, and then SCV, right? SCV, and then let's see that. Oh wait, I didn't give it what I wanted. So GRC. Okay, that failed. So yeah, we'll wait a bit for that. And so GRC is just something called a generic colorizer. I was expecting it to colorize my output. So when you do things like nmap scan, it gives it out in a better and way more interesting a form that actually it's pleasing to the eye, I'd say that. So that's why. So I don't know why it's taking this long. Let me maybe say v, and oh, it was initializing the NEC. We won't wait for that. Oh, it actually finished. So if you check, you see how the grc command does this. It's super awesome for documentation and for such, and it's a very interesting command I came across. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for staying for this long. So far, what we've just done is set up Omni, and you can go ahead and play around with it. So I'll share this maybe on my GitHub repo, and you guys can go ahead and follow the instructions and set it up and play around with it. The cool part about it is you don't need an Azure account, or maybe to set up a VM on Azure to actually set up OMI on it. So thank you so much and have a great time. Ciao.